Hello, Mr. Goldberg here. We're going to look at the start of the Civil War and the Battle of Fort Sumter. So this is South Carolina, and we're going to head into Charleston in a moment. But first, let me just give you a bit of an overview. If we zoom out, this doesn't quite overlay correctly on the map, but you get a sense of once we have the Battle of Fort Sumter starting, all these orange states secede. The dark green states are the border states: Missouri, Kentucky. West Virginia breaks off from Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. And then all the light green states remain in the Union, as well as some out in the far west that we're not going to worry about right now. So let's head in to Charleston. And this is a very cute, if you ever go there, there's a very cute downtown area today in Charleston. And we will look at some pictures. A little ivy covered doorway and nice quaint place to go, horse-drawn carriage. Statue of George Washington. There you go. South Carolina is one of the original states, so that makes some sense. And then there's a picture in here of number 34. Give me a sec. But you're getting a sense of what it looks like. Yeah, this old slave market built in 1859, right before the war started, and has now turned into a museum. So that's a little bit of a sense of what Charleston looks like. But I want to take you down to this park at the end of Charleston. And there is a statue there to the Confederate defenders. And this is sort of a Greek-Roman statue holding a shield ready to defend Charleston. It says to the Confederate defenders of Charleston. So it's better to be a defender. That means somebody else attacked you rather than a attacker or a rebel. So that's the label they put on this particular monument. And the monument's facing out toward the ocean. And if we go back to Charleston, you can see Fort Sumter over here, and actually from the downtown area. I think you just get that. Yep, I set it up so it would just be in the edge there. And then if we measure from there to Fort Sumter, about 3 1/3 miles away. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and what was going on at Fort Sumter. It's not a real big fort, but what was so important that was happening here, and why was the first shot of the Civil War fired here at Fort Sumter. We'll zoom in a little bit more and just get a sense of how big it is from one end to the other. It's only 381 feet. And if we zoom into our current RTHS building, if you go from the far end of the parking lot to the front door, that's 400 feet. So that's bigger than Fort Sumter is. And when we move up the street next year, we will be in our new facility, and it's about 400 feet from when you come in the entrance to the back edge of the school. So that's about the size of Fort Sumter. And we will talk more about why it was so important to have Fort Sumter supplied from a Union perspective, and why it was so important to attack Fort Sumter from a Confederate perspective. But this little island here in the middle of Charleston Harbor, a little more than 3 miles away from downtown Charleston is where the U.S. Civil War began in April of 1861. So there you go. And we'll talk more about this in class. Thanks for watching.